Hello, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are making a recipe that is a lot simpler, a lot easier than the fudge last week. Kind of needed a quick win because the fudge technically was a failure. Now, it was a delicious failure because I found that the crumbly texture of it goes really well with Greek yogurt. So you just kind of crumble that over top of some Greek yogurt, stir it all up. Real good. So if you try and make that recipe and it also turns out the same kind of grainy consistency that happened with me, get some Greek yogurt, crumble on top of that. Ice cream also would work. A tasty failure nonetheless. But what we're making today is also tasty. It is probably one of my new favorite recipes. I found it just by, Googling. Effectively, I think I was just looking for something with gravy because my format for making a meal is protein, carb, vegetable. And for the longest time, my carb was just rice. And I could feel my Irish ancestors being very disappointed that I wasn't eating a lot of potatoes. So I was like, I need to find something with gravy so I can make mashed potatoes and put that gravy on top of it. And this is what I found, and it was love at first bite. Let me tell you, this was delicious. Very happy with it. Quick, easy. The chicken and gravy aspect is one pan. Obviously, you need a separate pans for the mashed potatoes and green beans. Making it all, you pretty much cook the chicken, and then you make the gravy with like the leftover bits, plus adding in some other stuff, and then you put the chicken back in there. It's just so good. And it comes out like very tender, very delicious. I'm a big fan. And so I figured I'd share that with you all because it's like it literally just shot up to the top of my list of one of those recipes that I can make like drop of a hat. I have most ingredients almost always on hand. So it is heavily been added into the rotation, even though I've only found it like 2 months ago. I've made it already a handful of times. Now, that being said, we're still going to kind of do the same process. We're going to run through the ingredients, get into cooking, and then we'll do the taste test at the end, even though I've already told you how good this is. But you can watch me make it, so then you vaguely have an idea. It's all pretty simple stuff. But if you want to see how that goes, stick around. So yeah, let's get into it. Run through the ingredients, get into cooking. Chicken, salt, pepper, garlic powder, butter, flour, chicken broth, Italian seasoning, and onion powder. All right, so first up, we're going to cut the chicken breast in half lengthwise and then season with salt, pepper, and then the garlic powder. Next, we're going to add the olive oil and then only 1 tablespoon of the butter to the pan. Let that all melt. Let the pan heat up on medium-high for a few minutes. And then we're going to add in the kind of chicken breast cuts that we have and cook those for 4 to 5 minutes on each side. Now remove the chicken breasts from the pan, put that on a plate, set that aside, and we're going to add in the rest of the butter, let it melt, and then we're going to add in the flour, stir that all up, letting it cook for about a minute. Effectively, we're making the roux right now for the gravy to come. Now, just slowly add in the chicken broth to the roux that we've made, stirring it constantly, letting the roux kind of dissolve into the chicken broth, creating the gravy, and then stir in the Italian seasoning and the onion powder. And now finally, just add the chicken back into the pan, cover it up, and let it cook for about 4 to 5 minutes. But really what we're shooting for is the internal temperature to hit 165. So just have a quick read thermometer, test that after about 4 minutes, see where you're at, add a few more minutes if you need to, maybe rotate it. Just 165 is what's important. That's how you know chicken's done. So that's what you're shooting for. All right, here we have it. Hopefully, obviously I would have already handled it, but there were, I think, a few little rocky parts in the filming where I might not have recorded. So hopefully I did something like, future Aaron needs to solve past Aaron's mistakes from current Aaron's perspective. That being said, if you have any questions about whatever I forgot to record, shoot them my way. I mean, obviously I have a number of social medias that are kind of tied with this account, but the comment section, probably the easiest spot, because then it's relevant for if anybody else has a question, it's there for them. But if you're scared of asking it to the world, there is also Instagram. You can do like a direct message there. Plugging social medias aside, why don't we get into tasting? Because this smells fantastic. I'm very happy with how this came out. It might be a little cool now because this is not my first take. So I won't hold that against it. But I mean, regardless, I've already sung its praise numerous times. Make this. Before I even taste it, go make it. Just pause the video right now, go make it, and then eat along with me. That would be a fun experience. All right. I'm losing it. I'm delirious. I'm hungry. Let's just do this. I mean, technically, I'm cheating by adding some mashed potatoes in there. I mean, I don't know what you expected, because I've said it before I even tasted it. This is amazing. It's fantastic. Just go make it. Go make it and tell me how it is. And if you don't say that it's fantastic back, you did something wrong. I'm just kidding. Obviously, this isn't for everybody. But it's like, it's just everything that I love in food. I know that I don't 100% follow the recipe for like the amount of spices that I put in there. I just kind of eyeball it and then like, taste test the gravy and be like, needs a little bit more, whatever. So that's a bit subjective, might be different from person to person if you like one thing over another. I personally like a bit saltier gravy. It just feels like it melds with everything a little bit better. And then also like extra black pepper, stuff like that. But it's just, I'm going to say it's very flavorful, but I don't know if that's because I put literally more flavor in there, or I think the first time I made the recipe, I followed it like to the letter and it was still very tasty. So I assume everybody's experience should be real good. Now, to make it fantastic, you might need to do a little tweak here and there, but I believe in every one of you that you can get there. Is there anything else that I haven't said? Because I'm literally just going to keep repeating how good this is, because it's real good. Here's a bit of info that is not just complete rambling. It is a good, like, leftover. It's not a big meal prep meal because you can scale it, but you're really limited by the size of the pan that you're working with. And like for my cast iron skillet, I can probably get maybe 3, maybe 3.5 like chicken breasts in there. I probably could still eat that in 2 meals. It might be 3. If I was eating real light, maybe 4, but 3 would probably be like a good estimate, which is not a whole lot it's not a lot of effort put into it, but in terms of like a meal prepping experience, 3 meals is like nothing. And it is a good like make for dinner and then have the leftovers for lunch the next day. Like anytime I make this, it's gone within 24 hours. Like it does not exist anymore. It's real good, reheats, like, obviously the chicken's going to be a little bit dry from reheating in the microwave, but it reheats well. Apart from that, and then the gravy helps in that, like, kind of covering up the dryness. Broken record, it's fantastic. I think you get the point. The conclusion is, make this, it's great, delicious, got it all. I don't think I need to say anything else. I think we understand each other. And I'm going to go eat the rest of this. And on that note, bye, Mom. Still not dead. See you.